Okay, so as you can see now, I've set up the remaining fingers. Okay, and if you done it exactly the same way, made sure the plane of the fingers kind of rotates down the geometry, made sure that the joints are in the middle of the knuckles as much as I could, and what we can do now is parent these to the hand joint. This is kind of no longer required, so I shall delete it. And now we'll move on to the thumb. So before I parent this, I'll just duplicate it and let's move it into position. Okay, so the thumb is a little bit of a tricky one, and the thumb has the main joint here and the second joint. If you look at the way your thumb bends, the second one's here. And then I always put the kind of base thumb joint roughly quite close to the palm of the hand, because that's where you get the main rotation. And if you just look at your thumb, that core rotation of your thumb is quite close to the palm. So let's put it down there. And again, everything's been rotating in the Z plane, and so I can do that with the main root joint, and as you can see, it's now pointing down the thumb. So let's just make sure it's nice and central. And then once you've done that, I'm keeping it in the same plane. It's the usual story of changing the translate X and then the rotate Z and translate X, and then literally that last joint, translate X, which is the length from its parent. I'll do. And once you've done that, freeze transforms, and that will align the joints. So as you can see, once I shift, select the thumb joints and rotate them all in the Z-axis, they will all rotate together. So that's why I'm being really careful to align the joints all in the same direction, and parent everything into to the hand joint. Okay, so ultimately that means when I rotate the hand, now all the fingers go with it, and then lastly, if I select the thumb and press F, it will zoom right in there. So I've got index that I want to rename to thumb, so I'm going to shift all those joints, and I use a rename tool called WP rename. So I'm going to search for index and replace that with thumb on selected, and click on apply, and that's done all those, and delete that last joint one, which was the duplicate. So that's all that hand on the left side now set up, and as you can see, that's the entire arm joint. What I will do before I mirror is I'm going to add in a forearm twist joint. So So I'm going to select the forearm, go to the JSON Schleifer split tool. I want 2 segments, so that puts that there, and I literally want that to be bind, let's call that forearm underscore left underscore JN, whoops, JNT. And now it's ready for the last skeleton mirror joint, and I want it the YZ plane, YZ, so it will mirror across. And again, I want behavior, search left and replace with right, and click on mirror, and as you can see, that's that side done. And let's unhide Shift and H that arm there. So you can see that the entire skeleton structure has been done. But lastly, I want to insert some shin twists as well. So I'm going to select the knee joint, again using the split tool, 2 segments. Okay. Let's find it. So that's bind. Let's call this shin underscore left JNT. Okay, and I can do the same for the right side, but ultimately let's delete that and let's just do a skeleton mirror joint, exactly the same setup and mirror, and that's got the other side. Okay, so there we go. That's literally the skeleton setup. Everything's been named correctly, named as we go, under the core center of gravity joint, nicely organized. All the joints are rotated correctly, all the correct transforms have been implemented, and then now I can save scene as, let's call it Frankie 4, and save that. But I'm ready to publish that as well, so let's call it right over the main Frankie, because that's the one that I'm going to reference in to the next stage. Save that and replace it. Okay, so we're now ready. From here we can now start the rig skeleton, and we can also start the skin weighting process as well, which we'll do in the following videos.